your first game for Wyoming last Saturday. You played a lot of snaps. Sound like you played a pretty good game, at least from my vantage point. What were your thoughts of your first game?
It was just exciting. It was amazing. I mean, it was a great opportunity, and I'm just blessed that I made it this far so far. And it was just a lot of fun. Speed was, probably the same as junior college, but the atmosphere was way different.
Yeah.
You got to take account for that. I mean, the calls and everything. I mean, there was signals going on and yelling. It was fun, man.
Right.
It was great. So, and we're getting that trust developed. And we kind of saw where we were as a team. That first game. And that first game is so important. And we know what we got to fix. That's for sure. And anyway.
Do you feel like there was a lot mentioned about some missed tackles, lack of execution, not just secondary, all across the board? I mean, it was just one game, the first game, a lot of new players out there. You guys pretty confident, as I know you sound like you met as players a little bit last night to kind of talk some things over. Still pretty confident in everything right now?
Yes, sir. I'm completely confident. I'm confident in our potential. I'm confident in everything that we can do. And it's, I mean, we can do it. I mean, and that's the deal with the coaches were harping on and the players were harping on. A lot of times, secondary standpoint, we were there to make the plays, and we just got to make them.
Right.
We were inches away. Whether it was to get that ball on the ground or make that tackle or fit up right, and we just can't turn guys loose, and it's developing with trust. That kind of stuff kind of happens when you try to help someone else's position. They're killing us on the run, so I'm worried about the run.
Right.
And so we don't cover somebody because we're trying to get up there and help out because we're having to make tackles. Because our front seven is messing up or whatever. And then front seven doesn't worry about watching the right keys, and then whatever happens. I mean, it kind of just happens. You got to do your role, and when we try to do someone else's, then we turn guys loose, and that's on us. We know, and it's just cool because we know what we can do at a defensive standpoint and the potential that we have, and we have a great staff that they stay honest about it, and so this week is so important.
Right.
So important. So
you're at Blinn College. I understand Texas State has 4 guys from Blinn that they just signed. I know the coach's son was at Blinn last year, so kind of give me a scattering report. It sounds like their receiver Battle, I think his last name's Battle, and they got Rutherford, a quarterback who was a receiver at Blinn. Is that correct? They're pretty good players for him. What can you tell me about them? You know them really well, buddies, or gone against them? What can you tell me about these guys?
They're good friends of mine.
Are they?
Good friends of mine, and me and Sean, we've talked some crap to each other in the summertime. And at the time I was playing nickel, and I said, I'm coming for you. I'm going to try to get a sack, and he's a runner. He's a runner, so I'm sure I'll have to try to tackle him. And he's elusive. He's elusive, and he can throw a pretty ball. He can throw the ball. He's definitely a dual threat guy. And Isaiah Battle is, he's kind of like, a Robert Haran type. A little bit taller, a little bit thicker. He's built like a running back, but I mean, he's a dang good player.
Right.
And they got Kyle Dahl, who's a tight end, and they just got some guys, and coaches, and he's smart. I mean, he knew, and those guys are competitors, and they. And so, we got to come with it for sure.
Right. Do you know
it's going to be fun, though.
Sure. Do you know a lot of the other guys, even from when you were in high school or anything? Do you have any relationships with any of their other players, too? Or?
Yeah, well, Chase Harper, the tight end, they got a tight end from Navarro that we played against. We had a game plan for him. And Navarro won a national championship at the junior college level last year.
Right.
And he was a big part of that. And so he's, 6'5", 250-pound tight end that can, run and catch and block. And so, and they got him and Kyle, so 2 starting tight ends on 2 top programs in the junior college level. I mean, that's saying something. And Sean was, on that 2009 national championship team with Cam Newton. I mean, the guys can play.
Right.
And they got the athletes, and but so do we. I feel like athletically we match up real well. And as long as we execute and don't let them outflank us or anything like that, I feel like we can beat them.
Right. Is it more exciting for you because you do have some ties and relationships with these guys, or as a player do you try to have to temper that and worry about what you need to focus on? What's that? What do you think that will be like for you this week?
Well, that's a good question because those guys are your friends, so it's going to be different for me. it's different when you don't see the guys' faces. You don't know the guys, so you're prepared for battle. You don't know what to expect, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what to expect, but they're my friends. But I play on this team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got that ball, I got to tackle it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is. And they know that. And they're going to try to juke me, truck me, whatever it is. They're going to try to get in that end zone, and I got to try to stop them. And they're the same way. We're just competitors, and it's this week is actually an emotional week. There's a lot of emotions going through there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got buddies on that team. And it's this, Armed Forces September 11th deal.
Right.
And Sunday I'm actually getting baptized.
Oh, are you really?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
so,
congratulations.
And I'm not ashamed of that. I say that. And so, anyway, and my whole family's going to be there. And Coach Fran is actually the linebackers coach, my head coach,
mm-hmm.
who helped get me recruited here.
Mm-hmm.
The linebackers coach for Texas State. And Dennis Franchione's the head coach, so I know both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's definitely going to be a fun deal. And we know what we got to do to try to get it done. That's for sure. So.
All right, sounds good. All right.